warm welcome to the show. A Polish immersive exhibition dedicated to Fryderyk Chopin has won at the prestigious Webby Awards, dubbed the Internet Oscars by the New York Times. Romantic Chopin, created by Artbox Experience in collaboration with the Fryderyk Chopin Institute, is being recognized for its innovative approach. To discuss this, I'm joined by Joanna Kowalkowska, the CEO at Artbox Experience. Hello and welcome, delighted to have you with us, and of course, congratulations on the Webby.
Thank you so much, and hello.
So how does it feel to win this award, and what does it entail?
Well, it feels very surreal, especially that we were nominated in 2 categories. With our previous exhibition, Save the Planet, we lost to NASA. We were both competing head-to-head, but thankfully we won in a music category, and we actually won with Metallica, which is really surreal, but we're so grateful.
So, of course, again, congratulations. This exhibition is described as an immersive journey through Chopin's life. How is it different from a typical museum exhibition?
Well, our initial thought when we were designing the exhibition was to make our audience feel the spirit of Chopin. So it was all about feeling the music of Chopin and understanding him not only through music but also through visuals. We went to surreal places to create this exhibition because we created over 30 watercolors, and based on the original hand-painted works we actually animated the entire life of Chopin, starting from the birth in Żelazowa Wola, then he's moved to Warsaw, Vienna, and the end of his life in Paris.
So from Żelazowa Wola to Paris, how did you decide which moments were important? What to include?
Well, and thankfully we were guided by the Institute of Fryderyk Chopin. They were the backbone of information about the Chopin, so they helped us immensely with creating the script, and then we did the animation and also a lot of interactions.
So this 30-minute central animation, so to speak, it includes Chopin's correspondence.
Yes.
Why was it so important? What was the most interesting about it? If you could tell us a little bit more.
It's amazing because back in the days, obviously, people were corresponding with letters, so it's very intimate. It gives totally different feeling than just reading text messages or DMs. So it's just surreal, and we can tell a lot about his life and just the person he was through his correspondence with the loved ones and friends.
Was there anything surprising to you in this correspondence?
I think it's just amazing what kind of family was the Chopin's family, because he had a very close relationship with his parents and also his sisters, and they were just very supportive of him. And although they haven't seen each other for, I think, more than 20 years, they were really updating each other through letters.
And the exhibition also ends with the International Chopin Piano Competition. Why did you decide to include that?
Well, this is basically a note to the Chopin Institute and also the competition of Chopin, which is actually the oldest. It is the oldest music award in the entire universe, and soon it will be 100 years old. The 100 years anniversary is next year. This is something that we can be really proud of, that we have this amazing heritage that I don't think that many people know about.
So let's zoom in on the technologies that were used, at this exhibition. You have VR, AI. What was the most challenging? What is the coolest aspect of this? If you could tell us more about.
Well, technology is definitely something I'm the most excited about. So I think it's really cool that we were able to show his life through many gadgets that we came up with. So, for example, there's a sculpture. It's a brass sculpture that we designed, and it contains the original cast of Chopin's hand. And basically, when you touch his hand and you also touch the notes, which are also casted in brass, it creates a circuit, so you can listen to the notes by touching Chopin's hand. So you don't even have to read notes. So I think it's amazing that this exhibition is also for people who are very much beginners on the classical music journey. The other amazing thing we have is that speaking portraits that I think many millennials are just obsessed with, because we grew up with talking portraits on the Harry Potter and you're able to touch the portrait of Chopin's mother, and she reads a part of the letter that he wrote to her, which is also amazing. And then there is also the most spectacular part of the entire exhibition is actually the grand finale of the immersive part. So at the end of the 30-minute show, the heart of Chopin, which is designed from particles created by little notes, it stops. And when the beat of the heart stops, the lights turn on the piano, and the piano starts to play itself, which gives you really strong impression of how his music lives on through generations. So I think this entire exhibition, it has so many like really amazing aspects that is definitely worth seeing.
It all sounds very sophisticated. So how long did it take to put it all together?
I think we were in the process about 2 years, for about 2 years. From the decision point that we really want to make an immersive show about Chopin, and then partnering with Institute, and the entire exhibition was also delayed by almost half a year because we were waiting for the competition of Chopin when all the global audience comes to Warsaw. So yeah, I would say about 2 years.
And speaking of audiences, we know that Chopin's music is very popular throughout the globe, but also especially in Asia. So what kind of audiences did this exhibition attract?
I think that definitely it is intergenerational and also multicultural exhibition. And our first stop will be actually in Paris. Next year, the exhibition goes to Paris. This summer, we will showcase in Cannes during film festival, because for the second year in a row, the International Film Festival actually started including immersive as part of the festival, and also Biennale in Venice. So I think the first stop will be in France, which seems appropriate because it sort of follows the life journey of Chopin, but then definitely we would love to go to Asia.
So you've mentioned the Venice Biennale. I wonder, where does this immersive art sort of fall in the art landscape? Is it visual arts, or is it more music? How do you classify it?
Yeah, it's hard to find a spot, but thankfully after, I think it's been almost 6 years that I founded POC Experience, which was at the time the first immersive gallery in Poland. And it's just amazing that from last year, we actually started getting recognition as a proper art form. And I think it naturally fell first into the category of film, because it feels like we have the most in common with film. So the Film Institute started including immersive, and I think the rest will follow.
And have you noticed this trend that ordinary museums are also trying to make their exhibitions more and more immersive?
Yes, definitely. Sometimes they just have a trip to our place, and then we see the installation popping in their institutions, and sometimes they officially ask for advice. So we definitely see the growth from this year.
That is very, very interesting. Now, what kind of message you would like the audiences to take away from this particular exhibition about Chopin?
Actually, any of our exhibitions, not only Chopin, but especially Chopin, it's very good as an introduction. It's very approachable, easy, and also very relaxing way to understand the topic better, because it's just so entertaining and it's so modern, and you can just like absorb so much information that I would like to think about all the immersive experiences, that this is actually a way to step into storytelling that just sort of takes you with a flow.
So there's also this educational component to it.
Absolutely, yes. We try to always include the educational component, and this is where we get help from places like in the National Institute of Fryderyk Chopin.
So the Chopin exhibition is now on its way to faraway places such as France.
It's also in Poznań until the end of May.
Okay, after that. Meanwhile, in Warsaw, there's something else.
In Warsaw, right now we have Leonardo versus Michelangelo. Also, we created an entirely new venue, which is called Artbox Metaverse, where we use VR glasses to have a walk around places that are very hard to approach, such as Titanic. So it's also like new way of narratives that I'm currently obsessed about, because by putting on the gear on your a headset on your head, you basically can go into any environment that otherwise wouldn't be possible.
You can be transported to this completely different place.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about the Leonardo versus Michelangelo exhibition. How was it working on this one? What kind of artworks are included, and why is it important to talk about Renaissance art?
It is an exhibition created by our partners, Layers of Reality. It's our third exhibition together. We did Frida Kahlo, Life of an Icon, and also Dali Cybernetics. So this is our third collaboration. And I think it's also the way that it's designed is just very interesting, because it tells the story about the quarrel between Leonardo and Michelangelo. And for me, it was, at the beginning, I didn't even know that they were basically living in the very similar time. I mean, Leonardo da Vinci was older, but yet they were living in the same town, and to have them competing, it must have been surreal. So basically at the same time, they've been approached by Medici family to create art, and they ended up competing so badly that neither of them finished any work. So I think it's really
ultimately was detrimental. Okay.
So it's actually the battle and competition that never were finalized, because neither of them finished any work. So we try to show the work of both of them, how their thinking was different, and how they dressed, how they lived. It was completely different. So we try to tell both stories, and at the end you have a chance to vote if you're Team Leonardo or Team Michelangelo.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, Joanna, if we could stop for a moment and zoom in on the actual technology, because some of it, from my understanding, came from abroad. What kind of technology are we talking about?
For quite a few years now, we are using more than just projections. So we have many leaders that allows you to just interact and trigger designed animations by movement. There is a lot of real-time projections. So we stepped away from just looking at the projection, and we try to go into the direction that you actually can interact even more. And we try to encourage people to create in a real time whenever they visit and actually have fun.
But then some aspects of the technology are Polish as well. Which ones?
Well, we are designing all the interactions by ourselves. You can see the sculptures of Michelangelo in 3D. So we are like mixing and matching existing pieces and then putting them together into installations.
And how big is your team? Just to give us a sense of how does it all work, behind the scenes.
It's surprisingly small. I would have to say that we are about 10 very solid people, and we're a very close team. But it's a mix of events, educational, production. But it is about 10 people.
Now, Joanna, now that you have a Webby, the bar is set quite high. What are you planning for the future?
Well, first of all, I have to come up with 5 words for the Webby Awards, which is already quite stressful, because the people who were just before us, such as Prince and David Bowie, they really did put a bar very high. So we have to come up with 5 words, and people are encouraging. For your acceptance speech? Yes, for the acceptance speech. So we are really encouraging our audience to help us come up with 5 words, because it's also very limiting to just summarize everything in 5 words. We're definitely trying to expand into new locations. You can find us in Poznań. This summer we'll open in Aqua Park in Reda, which will be more entertainment, and I think less. It will be edutainment. We will open with Dino Experience with dinosaurs, and then I hope we'll go to Krakow. So we're planning to have a chain of art boxes in Poland and also have our productions abroad. So lots of projects. Fingers crossed that it will all work out. Joanna Kowalkowska, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. And thank you for watching Pulse of Culture. Please stay tuned for more here on TVP World.